felt like a lost tourist inside your own browser, trying to figure out what went wrong with your website? What if I told you there was a Swiss Army knife built right into Chrome that could help you out with that? Stay tuned. Hello, 10x devs. Today we're not just browsing, but we're diving deep into the developer Chrome tools so that way you can learn more and help yourself out when you're debugging. Alright, so first things first, the first thing you're going to want to do is basically go to any website, and from there you're going to want to either hit F12, I hit F12, or you can right click and inspect, and it'll pull up the developer tools. I'm going to hit F12 just like this, and it'll pull up the console. So from here you'll see a couple tabs. You'll see elements, console, sources, network, performance, memory, application, Lighthouse, AdBlock, and you probably won't have this Redux tab. That's just because I have the Redux installed. That's for another video, but basically this is just Chrome developer tools. So you'll see all of these. So we're going to start with the elements, right? So there's a couple things happening right here, but basically all this mumbo jumbo is right here, if you've never seen this before, is the HTML on the current page that you're on. So as you hover over these, you can see that this is highlighting the body of the page. These are different elements, and what's even cool, if you click right here, you can select any element on the page, so we can see actually where that references inside the elements too, right here. And this is good for troubleshooting if you don't know why a certain element's not sitting right on the page or something like that. It's really useful for that. You can also come over here to the style side, and let's say maybe we want to change the height of this, or let's say we want to change the color, right? We can actually edit this in real time. So if we change one of these numbers like 64 or something, it actually just changes the color right there. Or we can click and we can drag around and change the color too, and it'll actually change on the page. So that's pretty cool. Like, let's try and do the background right here. So the background's white, but we just change it to red. You see that? So we can change it and adjust things in real time. That way, if you're editing and trying to see what it looks like on the page and you don't want to go to your code, you can use the developer tools to do that. All right, next thing, we're moving over to the console. And the console is, if we press Control L right here, will clear that out. But as you can see, actually, the console has a lot of useful things, and mainly being, if we refresh the page right here, you see it's giving errors. While I don't know if these errors are important or not, you can actually come here and see all the errors that are happening. This is where things will get logged to the browser, and you can actually, a cool thing in here, you could do different types of JavaScript in here in real time. So if we want to say 2 plus 2, it'll actually show you 4. If we want to say const full name, you know, just hit tab right there. Full name Will Swenson, and then we'll say full name, and now you can see we actually just made a variable inside the console, so we could play around with some things to see what certain things would do in real time. It's kind of interactive. It lets you do that. If you ever use Python or something, it has like an interactive mode, something similar to that inside the browser with the console. It's really good for debugging, logging out things to see what they are, so that way you can troubleshoot things like that. Next, we're going to move over to the sources. Alright, over here on the sources page, we have a lot of cool things. This is really useful to kind of see what images and things and assets are being used on your website. So you could come here and you can look and see, oh, they have branding, they have this image, that's the Google image. Search box, oh, that's all the search things being used in the search box. So it's useful for that. You can also come here and you can look at the build, look at different things. Me personally, I don't use it that often, but I can see how it's useful. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't use it that much, maybe because I'm not aware of the power of it. But that's the sources tab. Next thing, we're gonna move over to the network tab. So the network tab is really useful, and you can do a lot of different things with here. But the main use case I use it for, and I see a lot of people use it for, is checking the status of anything coming in from a third party like API or anything that's fetching data. So if something fails, you can see it right here, and you can actually see the speed of it as well. And you can search for it, or you can filter. Another cool thing you could do actually whenever you're testing for if your spinner, like a loading spinner for a page, whenever your fetching data is working, you see how it says no throttling. You click here and you can click slow 3G. And now if we refresh the page, it's probably going to take a lot longer. And you can see it's throttling right now. It took a lot longer than if I would have take this off and just refresh. You see how it was a lot quicker. You can see everything that's actually loaded in. You can see if anything's blocked. You see the status codes of them, what type it is, different things like that. how long it took for it to actually load into the page. So this is a really good page or tab, I think, to really troubleshoot when you're working with APIs and stuff like that. Next, we're going to move over to the performance and the memory side of things. So the performance is pretty cool because you can actually record in real time and see different lags and things of your website. So if I click this record and let's say I start searching things, um, we'll just search what I was searching earlier. I was trying to find some sounds for my soundboard, and that should be good enough to kind of see a reference to it. We can click stop, and it's going to load a profile and show us the different stats and different things that it found whenever we were running through that. So you see some things right here like the network. You see what was searched, maybe some type of different protocols, different things like that, which is pretty cool. And if we go over to the memory side, memory is pretty cool as well because we can see what's getting stored in memory, how much some certain things are taking up memory, and different things like that. So that way, if our website's performing poorly because of a lot of things taking up memory, we can address that and troubleshoot it from the spot right there. And the only way we can know that is if we go to the tab. Over here on the application tab, you can see a lot of cool different things. You can see things as far as your local storage, what's inside of there. Local storage is basically just like it says, local storage, something that you can cache inside of your browser. That way it can get saved. It's usually used for like creating sessions on a website. So you could also see the session storage, which is mainly used for that. Um, you see different things with the databases. You can see the cookies here. See a lot of cool information. Um, you can see like service workers that are active or waiting. You can update them, unregister them, different kind of things like that. And you can see the cache storage. If there's any, you can find more details about that. Me personally, I've not used this that much, but it's pretty useful from what it seems like. Definitely if you're dealing with cookies or especially local storage. Usually the way I check local storage is, or I'll just come right here and check it. But it's a really good like GUI for checking that out, so I think that's pretty useful. Next, we're gonna move over to the Lighthouse. Lighthouse is pretty cool if you're trying to analyze like the page load of something and or give you a lot more detail into what exactly your page stats are. So if we do like an analyze page load on this, it's gonna take a good second or two. It's analyzing everything. You see how it refreshed the page. It's going through the page. It's checking different things. You see, this says it could take a minimum of 5 seconds, but it looks like it's speeding along pretty quick here. And it should be loading up with something here soon. And you can see that the performance, the accessibility, best practice, SEO, all that stuff. So overall, the performance is 99, so it's a pretty solid page. But you got to think also this just references the page that is loading on, not the whole app, so or website. So keep that in mind. Next, we have the ad block. I haven't really dove much into this, but this is more so for blocking different types of ads. What are blogs? What are allowed? Different things like that. And I want to also give out just a little extra thing right here. If you notice, there's this little toggle right here. It's device mode. You can actually set different devices. So maybe I want to see what my responsiveness is in iPhone SE. You can kind of see that right here. This is the actual resolution for iPhone SE, and you can see how your app will match up next to it. So if we go to responsiveness, you can set your own resolution. So this is good for making responsive websites and different types of apps. So that way they're responsive to, the different resolutions that they're in. So while we're still on the topic of dev tools, maybe your dev tools are on the right side or something. Just go to these three dots, change this to this one right here. Maybe yours is like this. Just go to the three dots, change this to the bottom one. If that's how you prefer it, or you could change it and just basically, if you go to these three dots, you can look at the different settings. You can make this dark mode. Pretty sure if you go to settings, change the theme. Oh, flashbang, literally. Yeah, change that to dark. You're a sicko if you're literally on light mode. And you can change a lot of cool settings in here. If you want to look at mine, I'll just scroll down through. Mine are probably default. Not gonna lie. Haven't really messed with anything except the theme because, like I said, you're a madman if you're on the light mode. And with that, I want to wrap this video up. If you gained some insight on the developer tools, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. hit that subscribe button, and join the Discord in the description down below where we help people break into tech all the time. And also, I'll catch you guys in this video right here where we're talking about some more coding stuff. And if you got any more tips or tricks or any more experiences with your developer tools, leave that in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys, and I'll see you 10x devs in another video. Peace.